In today's business culture, productivity is the key. It's the key to promotion. Without productivity, all other pursuits won't mean a thing, because every employer, by reason of economics, is forced to look at the bottom line. Every employer is forced to look at the bottom line. And once you understand that every employer is forced to look at the bottom line, you'll begin to understand that you need to add value at the workplace. I believe that the years are over, and it's been these last 30 to 40 years in America where people were beginning to make huge amounts of money for very little contribution. People were going to the corporate America was going to the universities and beginning to pick people out of universities and giving them huge salaries. But I had someone just tell me yesterday that as they go back into the marketplace and they're beginning to look for another career, their career of 10 years ago, having 10 more years of experience, is actually being offered approximately 30 to 40% less financially than they were 10 years ago. And this is even at the inflated rate. So 10 years ago, money was worth more than it is today, but yet they're being offered 30 to 40% less than they were offered 10 years ago. Friends, it's getting tighter. And because it's getting tighter, we need to understand how to really add value at the place where we work, at the place where we are expecting to be able to reap the rewards from. We need to make certain that we're making the contribution that will cause those rewards not only to come, but also to be deserved. William Simon had this to say about productivity. He said, productivity and the growth of productivity must be the first economic consideration at all times, not the last. That's the source of technological innovation and jobs and wealth. I like how Abraham Lincoln said it. He said that if I needed to cut down a tree and you gave me 6 hours to do it, he said I'd spend the first 4 hours sharpening my axe. Once you begin to understand that you'll get greater productivity by sharpening the axe than just banging at the tree without any productivity, both people will spend 6 hours. One guy will have worn himself completely out, while the other guy wore the axe completely out. And so you need to understand how to have this kind of productivity. Now you have to understand that this concept is so simple and efficient and wise to apply it to any project that we undertake. Productivity is something that you really, really, really need to understand. Now, after all, how many times do we bring the wrong tool? How many times do you ever take the wrong tool to the job? I think that a screwdriver can do anything. It can do anything. I try to turn nuts and try to, loosen bolts by putting the screwdriver on one of the heads and trying to push it against the wall. A lot of times we take the wrong tool to do the job. But if you're going to bring the right tool, you need to learn how to do so, and that's how to add value to what you do. You need to understand this inside your life. Now, in this second session, I want to look at these 3 keys that will increase your productivity by at least 25%. Now, here's 3 keys that will increase your productivity 25%. Now, the first key is this, and then I'll give you a principle after that. The first key is that you need to assess the desired outcome of the assignment. Now, here's a productivity question. What is considered the successful outcome of a particular project or a task? What will we consider success to be in this project? What would we consider that to be? If I'm going to add value, I need to know what my superior believes success in this situation to be. A lot of times we think that success means that what we've done is we've gone out and killed our proverbial Goliath every day. And we're constantly looking for these huge giants that we can slay in life. We're looking for that one deal. Do you understand that you can produce much more money by doing a number of small deals than one big deal? Keep taking the small ones, because the small ones will lead to the big ones. If all you're interested in is just winning the lottery and you keep just buying these tickets all the time, you're never going to be able to make it. So be interested in the small things, because that's where you begin to add value, and you need to understand that adding value is important. So point number one here was that you need to assess the desired outcome of your assignment. Always make sure that you and your boss and your employees know that the final product and what that final product and that final outcome is supposed to be. Many times what happens to us is that we don't really realize what we consider success to be. If I'm going to add value, I need to know what you, my employer, what you know, my supervisor, what do you consider success to be? If I'm going to add value, what do you consider me adding value to be to this situation? Because once I know what that value really is, I'm going to be able to not only do what you want me to do, but I'm going to be able to give you more than you ever asked for. One of the things that I've discovered that is a real positive thing is that whether in relationship or whether in business, I need to discover what is the most that someone is willing to do for one of my clients. And then what I do is give more. Because I will be remembered for what I've done that is more than what other people do. I will never be remembered for what I do that's the same as what other people do. If everyone on this particular assembly line all do 50 widgets, if we all do 50 widgets, then you become part of the crowd. But if what you do is when they do 50, you do 60, everybody's going to remember that. That's what success is all about. I'm successful. Success, what we'll do is we'll just say is that if everyone's doing 50, we consider success to be 51. If it's 51, then it's 51. So it's important for you to know that. Point number two is this, is that you need to assess what actions must be taken immediately. What steps must be taken? In productivity, if I'm going to increase my productivity, people ask me, what do you think is the most important question in productivity? It's very simple. What do I do next? I don't need to know 1,000 things when I'm going to be productive. I just need to know what to do next. What do I do next? How do I handle the next thing that I do? What is it that I'm going to do that's going to cause me to go further? Not be stopped in my tracks. You see, you can't do everything right now. All that matters is what you do right now and what you do next. What am I going to do right now and what am I going to do next? What am I doing right at this moment and what am I going to do next? If I'm going to be productive, what am I going to do next? I can't stop in my productivity. I need to know what is my next step going to be? What is the step after this? You see, goals and visions for companies that they have, they might be a one-year goal, they might be a 5-year goal, 10-year goal, 25-year goals. Some of the Japanese companies have 100-year goals of where they are, but that doesn't help anybody that wants to do something today. What are you going to do today? And productivity is based upon what you do next. What are you going to do next? What are you going to do when you wake up in the morning? Very simple. If I sit down to talk to an employee concerning something, not one of mine, but usually someone that I'm helping, and they ask me, they said, well, now, what's going to make my relationship with my company better? I said, it's very simple. All you need to do is find out what they want you to do next. What is it that you want to do next? With this one gentleman that I spent some time with just yesterday, all that was needed to be done, his work was impeccable. No one could ever say anything about his productivity. The problem was that he started in the day too late. I said, do you mean that the only challenge that you're having with this individual is the fact that they start too late? They said, that's all that there is that because they start so late, they end so late, and it makes it difficult to be able to schedule our production based upon his schedule.